So why don't we bring in someone who might have an answer, huh? James Blair, Assistant to the President, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Public, Political, and Legislative Affairs. Sir, thank you for your time today, and welcome to our program here. Let's go ahead and start with the obvious. As the clock stands now, based on the Senate vote and the 36-hour window the Speaker Johnson just gave, what's the soonest this could get done? Is it Wednesday evening on the calendar?
Yeah, I think Wednesday evening or Thursday morning is probably the earliest this could happen. There's some procedural moves in the Senate that have to be overcome. But hopefully, by middle of the week, we can get everything reopened and back on track. This has been a whole lot of wasted time by the Democrats for really no reason. We're just setting back the clock essentially to September 30th. This never should have happened. Democrats were on the wrong side of the American people here, but hopefully we can get that rectified middle of this week.
Okay, let's hope, huh?
Yeah,
right?
James, on the very first day of this, I said we all know how this is going to end. And it ended because the Democrats don't have the votes to continue it, but they just wanted to drag out the pain. And Chuck Schumer, though, he's under also political pressure in addition to legislative pressure. Listen to him here.
And make no mistake about it, the American people know who is inflicting this health care trauma on them: Donald Trump and the Republicans. Americans will remember Republican intransigence every time they make a sky-high payment on health insurance. So we are going to fight legislatively, fight back home, fight in the courts, and bring this fight in the elections.
President Trump on this saying that Republicans should give money directly to your personal health savings accounts that I expanded in our great, big, beautiful bill. For Schumer, do you expect more legislative and political trouble for him after this?
Look, I don't know what's going to happen to Leader Schumer. I think that there's a lot of people in his party that have problems with him, but that was true before this past shutdown. That's probably why he engaged in the shutdown. I think what's important is we should talk about the substance of what they are claiming this was all about, which is health care. The President Trump and the Republicans have been focused on health care all year, and I'd like to give you a few examples. Back when we passed our reconciliation bill, the House passed a program called the Cost Sharing Reduction Program, which would have lowered premiums across the board by over 10%. And the Senate Democrats used a procedural move to knock that out of the Senate version of the bill. So ultimately, it did not get passed because they got it knocked out. That's something we still want to achieve. President Trump, again, last week did another negotiation with drug companies under his most favored nation proposal to drastically lower the cost of prescription drugs. That's something we're going to keep doing. He's been doing that all year. We did expand health savings account in the reconciliation bill, as the president referenced on his X. So we have been wanting to discuss health care this whole time. The president has said he wants to discuss health care this whole time. But what's happened is the Democrats held everybody hostage for the last 40+ days to just really extend a system that is not working. As the president put up over the weekend, the insurance companies have made huge fortunes while they continue to raise premiums on everybody. And at some point, we have to say, this isn't working. This is too expensive for everybody. So we've got to make changes. And the Democrats have not been interested in making any changes.
On that point, if I could, if the subsidies die and the rates go through the roof, voters are going to blame someone, and they might blame Republicans. If that's the case, what's your plan?
I think that we have a good plan to be able to address some of these issues that will begin to be worked on in earnest now, hopefully in a bipartisan fashion, now that the government's reopened. It's something we've been working on the whole time. It's very simple, though. We're not going to simply be held hostage by them and extend a broken program. So I think there's people on both sides of the aisle, on both sides of the rotunda, that are talking about how to address this for the here and now. And I expect that we'll see action on that very soon.
James Blair, thank you. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
Watching the clock for Wednesday night.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.